everyone. Welcome back to the Singles Bible Study with me, Toni Tucker. In honor of February 2014, every month is designated during the month of February, if you didn't know, unless you were under a rock, you didn't know, is designated as Black History Month. And I am doing, in honor of Black History Month, a compilation of poetries or poems or dramatic readings. Although I'm not on a stage moving around, I'm kind of hindered here. But I'm going to redo The Quest of a Christian Girl, written by myself and WKF, a friend of mine back in the early 80s, like 1982, I believe. And this is The Quest of a Christian Girl. And it is now 2014 again. As a Christian girl, I stopped one day to ask myself a question. I wonder if I'm really saved, and have I learned my lesson? Well, I've Sunday schooled, BTU'd, ushered, taught, and sang, but yet this question bogged my mind. Have I been born again? Well, I walked along to think about just how I'd find a clue to prove that I've been really changed to know what I must do. The minister would smile and say, "My child, you need to pray. Just trust in God to answer you, and you'll be sure one day." Well, I walked along to think about just how I'd find the clue to prove that I've been really changed to know what I must do. And as I walked, I saw a man who beckoned with his smile. He said, "Hey, let the good times roll and walk with me a while. See, I could use a girl like you and give you gifts and fame. And you'll have riches with my help, for all will know your name." Amazed I stood and backed away, for I knew he spoke of sin, when suddenly he disappeared and said, "We'll meet again." I continued along this curious path, my question fresh in mind. Oh, desperately I yearned to know, my destiny to find. Well, I came upon a girl I knew who looked at me and said, "Girl, where'd you get those ugly clothes, and who messed up your head? Why, what you need is a brand new look, a sexy change of style. 'Cause if you want to get yourself a man, just look brazen, hot, and wild. See, I got me more boys than days of the week, and I keeps all of them happy. So hang loose, let go of church and stuff, get hip and make it snappy." And she ranted and raved and cussed and sweared like sailors on the sea. But in my heart, a voice explained, that life is not for me. For all my life, I've been at church. My parents were so demanding. I remember my mother once said, "Trust in God, Toni. He'll give you the understanding." So, with haste, I took my leave of this girl and strolled along the trail. I've got to find my destiny, for without it, I have failed. And then I noticed there was music sounding loud and clear. Strange rhythms cut the air. And as I approached this tripped-out noise, I began to stop and to stare. Now, in all of my life, I have never seen such a frenzied way out prancing. Folks were having epileptic fits, and get this, they said, with dancing. Some had on psychedelic clothes and sang with lewd suggestions. And one girl had her hair a flaming red, giving all of her tainted affections. This is the new generation of Babylon. We're free, we're hot, we're on our own. And if you come and jam along with us, you'll never, ever be alone. Da ha, ha, ha. You ought to come along. And then I heard a hip hop, a hippity hop, a hip hop, hippity hop. Don't stop the rhythm to the boogity, 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 bang, bang, boogity, boogity, boogity beat, bang, 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 boogity, boogity beat. Da ha, ha, ha. You are to come along. And when I heard this, it stuck with me. But why? I can't explain. Then it dawned on me. I still don't know if I've been born again. Further along the road I trod with tears that twinkled out, when suddenly I heard a familiar noise and almost wanted to shout. Down the road a bit, underneath some trees, some folks were having church. My arms went to wave and left to right, and my feet began to spurt. Well, the choir was really singing, and the deacons called on God. And everybody sat real close together, like sweet peas in a pod. Everybody smiled and danced and sang and praised with ecclesiastical glee. But when I joined right in to take a part, they stopped and stared at me. She thinks she's something, a young girl said. And bossy, don't you know? Why, she said this and he gossiped that. And shacking up with so-and-so. And then all about the congregation. They picked on me to shame. They threw some stones and dug a ditch and scandalized my name. Well, I ran as fast as I could go, my mind in desperate search, for I could not believe that Satan had partners deep within the church. That's it, I said. I had enough. My spirit was at wit's end. And you know, I really didn't care if I'd been born again. I trod past many frightening things, ooh, Lord have mercy, without any hesitation. But nothing I saw had hurt me so like that so-called Christian congregation. And now my eyelids were heavy and laden with wool as the sun bowed his head in the west. I looked and saw a garden with roses and dewdrops, and I stumbled and fell down to rest. My dear, said a kind and gentle voice, what has caused you this gloom and dismay? Have you stumbled through life's harsh, dangerous road? Have you quit after losing your way? Oh, sir, I replied, yet somewhat afraid. I have staggered through temptings and sin. I must search for the answer that gives peace of mind. I'm unsure that I've been born again. The voice replied, stand up, my child, for you shall know this day. I am the shepherd of the flock, the truth, the life, the way. I raised my head to see the Christ who knew my very soul, and he stretched his arm to lift me up, and he said, I'll make you whole. I put my tiny hand in his, so warm and full of love, and I felt the scars of the Roman nails that pierced his precious blood. this path you've trod, he said to me, has ushered man for years. But many never turn to me to quench their earthly fears. My child, be strong, be not afraid, be sure that I am the one, for I have come to give you life. The victory is already won. For you, I'll be a righteous judge. For you, I'll be your intercessor. And when you're burdened deep within, I'll be your burden bearer. I'll feed you on the bread of life and serve you living waters. Yes, I'll supply your every need. Believe on me, my daughter. And then cherubs and angels filled the sky with gleaming robes and swords. They sang, Hosanna to the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. He died for you on Calvary and went to hell. No pain. But Sunday morning he arose again and will return again. And then I awoke within my bed and I hollered without shame. I love the Lord. He heard my cry, 'cause I've been born again. I may not shout just like some do and never come to fame. Oh, but I know, oh yes, I know that I sure been born again. God's promise to you and to me. The quest of a Christian girl.